Morning, guys. Welcome to the current affairs session. Right, I'll be discussing all of the important topics that are necessary for UPSC. Right, and yeah, be it for prelims or be it for mains, we'll discuss everything, every aspect that is actually necessary for UPSC in a holistic manner. Right, and without any further ado, let us start with this current affairs discussion. Firstly, we have fuel prices are actually rising on the high. Right, I think the crisis that has happened in the West Asia, I mean, like with USA and Iran, has percolated towards the global events and also all the countries that are affected to it, right? And due to which even India is getting affected, and that is the reason I think our Prime Minister Modi has suggested work from home, right? And that is the main reason he suggested work from home because what our strategic reserves are very low. So we need to increase our strategic reserves, as I talked about it yesterday, right? Yeah, we have a strategic reserve of nearly 60 days, but globally it should be around 90 days. And we need to have a global reserve of 90 days. Okay, so firstly, I wanted to discuss about this AIDMK MLAs quit and joined TVK, right? And they use the term horse trading, right? They use the term horse trading. Now, let us understand what horse trading is, right? In every political scenario, there is obviously one people trying to gain support and one party trying to gain support and the other party trying to win support, right? And similarly, whenever there are two parties, one party's members will try to jump into the other, what do you call, political party, and that is known as horse trading. It's nothing but trying to gain political support through deals, right? You bargain, you pressure, you give rewards, you promise, right? You do whatever you want, right? The particular party does whatever it wants and whatever it can to ensure that they have majority of support, right? If you remember, the amount of seats that TVK got was 107. Okay, the amount of seats that TVK got in the elections is 107. But when the floor test was happening or the they got nearly 114, 114 or 144. So on that lens. How did this happen? This happened due to horse trading. They were trying to pressurize some of the people from the other parties. They were trying to reward some people from the other parties. They were trying to give them some concessions or some what do you call, gifts, whatever they want, whatever they can, right? What they did, whatever they can to bring them from that party to their own party. That is nothing but horse trading, right? In modern politics, it refers to how uh, MLAs and MPs switch sides, right? And usually this happens by offering minister posts. If you actually look at it in AP government, both Janasena and TDP have made a coalition, and as they got a coalition, they gave uh, Pawan Kalyan as a post of deputy CM. That is nothing but a minister post that is given for them to get more support, right? That is nothing but horse trading. Horse trading is what? Horse trading is nothing but a mechanism where they try to gain political support through deals, right? These deals are mainly through bargaining or by giving pressure or giving rewards, whatever it can, and whatever it is, whatever they can do, they'll do it. Okay, that is nothing but horse trading. Going on, we have this particular current affair. I mean, the editorial, right? This editorial is talking about finance commissions, transfers, and equity issue, right? Now, what is the finance commission? Finance commission is a constitutional body. Finance commission is a constitutional body under the Article 280, right? Finance commission is a constitutional body. Constitutional body under Article 280, right? What does it do? It decides. What does it do? It decides how taxes are collected by the state, by the center, and how are they distributed or shared among the states, right? And what do they do is, what the finance commission does is, it says that which state gets more and which state should get more amount of what do you call, share, right? It's saying that which state who gets how much and on what basis. It sets a criteria, right? What does finance commission do? It sets a criteria on which state would get more and how much devolution would happen from center to the state. Those are the two aspects that finance commission does. Okay, then there are some important terms that you need to keep in mind whenever it comes to finance commission. First term is vertical imbalance. Vertical fiscal imbalance. Vertical fiscal imbalance is nothing but how there is a shift between center, right? The center and state. It's nothing but vertical, no? Right? The imbalance, the distribution of money imbalance between the center and state is nothing but vertical imbalance. And the other term is called horizontal imbalance. Horizontal imbalance or horizontal fiscal imbalance. What is horizontal fiscal imbalance? Where there is imbalance between the states, right? These are the states, and there is inequality of fiscal transmission between the states. That is nothing but horizontal imbalance. Vertical imbalance is between center and state, whereas horizontal imbalance is between the states. Okay. Now let us look at what vertical fiscal imbalance actually includes. Right. Center collects more money. Right. Center collects more money. Includes GST, income tax, all of the taxes that are collected, they are collected by the center. And who has the more amount of administration? States have more amount of administration. For example, let's say police is there, education is there, health is there. All of these are where they are with the states. So who needs more money? Obviously, states needs more money. So based on this, there is transfer to the states. Then you have horizontal, right? For let's say there is one particular state, Karnataka is there. Karnataka is very low on population. Right? As I told you that Finance Commission under Article 280 decides a criteria on which it devolution, the devolution of money happens, right? And on horizontal, what happens is whenever there's a state, for example, let's say Karnataka is there. Karnataka has high amount of industries. Karnataka has low population. Okay, and there is Bihar. Bihar has very low industries and has high amount of population. So who needs more help? Obviously, Bihar needs more help. Based on this, there is high amount of horizontal devolution in Bihar when compared to Karnataka. That is nothing but vertical devolution and horizontal devolution. Right. So FC tries to help the weaker states more. Okay, what does Finance Commission do? It tries to help the weaker sections more. Okay, weaker states more, And as I told you that there is vertical devolution, right? The 16th Finance Commission said that the vertical devolution should be 41%, right? Basically, 15th Finance Commission said that it is 41% plus 1% to the newly formed union territories. Now, 16th Finance Commission said that yeah, we will move on or keep the devolution at 41% only. Now, what is devolution? Let's say the center has got 100 rupees, right? Center has got 100 rupees. Out of this 100 rupees, 41 rupees will go to the state, whereas the next 59, rest 59 goes to center. This is nothing but devolution. Okay, and in the devolution, you have a divisible pool. Just because the state, I mean, the center is getting 100 rupees doesn't mean that the actual devolution will happen from 100 rupees, right? Now there is a divisible pool here. For example, let's say out of the 100 rupees, there is cess and surcharge. Cess and surcharge are primarily for the center, right? Cess is something specific, right? For example, there is Swachh Bharat cess, education cess, right? All of these cess are very specific and they only go to the center. And surcharge is nothing but something that is charged on high income individuals. For example, let's say a person is earning 10 crores or 20 crores per year. That person, they'll put surcharge, not for someone who's earning 3 to lakhs per month. Okay. They'll only put surcharge on people who earn nearly more than 1 crore or 2 crores per year. Okay. And that surcharge goes to the state, I mean, center. Now, out of the 100 rupees, let's say the surcharge is 20 rupees. Okay, the surcharge is 20 rupees. Now, as I told you that cess and surcharge are both what? They go to the center. So we have to remove them from the divisibility pool. So 100 minus 20 is nothing but 80. Now, out of this 80, 41% goes to the states and 59% goes to the center. This is what the problem is with the Finance Commission, right? Many people say that many states think that the amount of surcharge and cess are increasing day by day, right? For example, now it is 20. After a few years, it is going to 30. After a few years, it is going to 40. So the amount of divisible pool that is there is actually reducing, but the amount of money that is required for the states is actually increasing because states need to take care of people. States need to take care of the schemes that are there. States are also implementing the centrally sponsored schemes. Now, what are centrally sponsored schemes? Centrally sponsored schemes are where state and center both together work. They work together, where center puts majority of the amount for, let's say, there's a initiative, and for that initiative, center puts 60% of the income, I mean investment, whereas state puts 40% of the investment. But what you need to see is that state is still putting 40%, but is state getting the amount that it needs? No, state is not getting the amount it needs, right? And then there is this devolution pool, right? And in this devolution, the divisibility pool is reducing because of increased surcharge and increased cess, right? So that the divisibility pool is reducing and the amount that is actually going to the states is actually reducing. On top of this, there is also discrimination. Let's say there is a state. There are states. Which state is there? Let's say Karnataka is there. Right? Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, all these states are they contribute very high. They contribute very high to the GDP. And there are states like UP, Bihar, and other states like this which contribute very less, but they have high amount of population. As they have high amount of population, where does the money go more? The money is going more to the states that have high population. They are not going to the states with low population. So what is happening? The states that are actually performing well and contributing more to the GDP are getting very low money. On top of that, they have been asked to spend for the centrally sponsored schemes. Right? This is the reason it is very discouraging for all the states that are actually rewarding or putting in efforts to develop the country. So that is one of the problems with all of the states that are actually saying that we need more amount of money and more amount of support from the center, right? And then there is the income distance. As I told you, there is the criteria. What is the criteria? The 16th Finance Commission said that we will change the criteria. Right? Previously, it was IPAD FT, meaning that income distance, population, area, demography, fiscal effort, forest and ecology, and also tax efforts. These are all the aspects that were actually present during the 15th Finance Commission. Now the 16th Finance Commission came and said that we are removing this T and we are adding contributing to the GSDP. Okay, as I was telling you, there is a criteria on which the Finance Commission says that this particular state will get more, this particular state will get less. And out of this criteria, income distance has the highest amount. Yes, highest amount of criteria is given to income distance. Right. For example, let's say as I was talking, Karnataka is there. Karnataka's income is 100 rupees. Right. Bihar's income is only 20 rupees. So which state will get more? Bihar will get more. The amount of contribution of GSDP is only 10%. Here is forest ecology is 10%, 10%, 10%, and these two together make 60%. Right. Based on this, there is high amount of discrimination between the states, and this is actually angering all of the states that are actually contributing more to the economy. Okay. So now, why are southern states varying? As I was telling you, AP, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu say that they have better population control. Right? They have better population control. They are contributing more to the GDP. They are collecting more to the taxes, and they have better economic performance. When they are doing all of this, and the state is actually not contributing, or the center is not actually saying that we'll give you some incentive, or we'll give you something that is necessary for your state to develop, it is actually discouraging. That is why many southern states are actually complaining. Now there is two things. One is equity, one is efficiency. Okay, till now we've talked about what is Finance Commission, what happened, how is it happening, and everything about Finance Commission we discussed. Now let us discuss what equity and efficiencies. Right, as I was telling you, equity is nothing but where you are giving states which have low chances more income. Right, let's say as I was talking, Bihar is there, Uttar Pradesh is there, and many other northeastern states are there, and hilly states are there, which do not have much amount of money. As they do not have much amount of money, they are giving all of these states, right? That is nothing but equity, supporting the poorer states. Supporting the poorer states is nothing but equity. But we also have to keep efficiency. What is efficiency? As I was telling you, Tamil Nadu is there, Andhra Pradesh is there, Karnataka is there. All of these are what? They are highly developing. They're highly developing and they're very contributing to the country. So the amount of devolution that is happening through Finance Commission to equity is nearly 70%. 70% of the devolution or the divisibility pool is directly going to the equity, meaning that the poorer states are getting more income, and the countries, I mean, the states which are highly efficient are getting very less, nearly 30%. They're only getting 30%. So imagine there is firstly devolution, right? And in this devolution, the vertical devolution, there is high amount of fiscal imbalance because center is charging more of cess and surcharge, right? So the divisibility pool from 100 rupees is going to 80 rupees. Out of this 80 rupees, only 41% devolution is given to the states. So out of this 80 rupees, it is only 41% is going to the states. Now, of this 40%, as the states which have low amount of income and low amount of efforts that they can do, all of the income of the 41% is going to equity states. Equity states meaning that those states which cannot afford, and all the states that are actually performing well, they are getting very low, only 30%, meaning that out of this 41%, 71%, 70% is going to equity, 30% is going to efficiency. Now, on top of it, there is centrally sponsored schemes. Who's the main person for implementing these centrally sponsored schemes? States, right? In the states, even again here you see that all the hilly states or all the low income states are getting 90% funds from the center. Only 10% from they are putting. So here states are putting what? 60% from the states, I mean centers, 40% from the states. Again, if you see here, the amount of disadvantage that is given to all the states that are highly efficient is very high. Can you see the amount of what do you call disadvantage for the states that are actually very efficient? See, devolution is happening, more amount is going to center. Out of this amount, only 41% is given to the states, and out of this 41%, 70% is given to the states that have very low income, high population. All of this is going to 70%, and all of these states that are actually very efficient, they are contributing more to the GDP. They are putting more effort. They are making the country better. They are getting only 30%. Again, in the 30%, they are being asked to spend 40%, yet nearly 40% in what? Centrally sponsored schemes. Where is the money for developing the states? This is very what do you call disappointing when it comes to all of these states who are being very highly efficient, right? So that is in this, right? And then you have the delimitation competition. So there are other aspects that are there, right? There is revenue deficit grants. Previously, there were revenue deficit grants given to the states. As the states were given revenue deficit grants, it is good, right? There is high amount of disadvantage for these kind of countries. There might be some revenue deficit. So, in order to reduce this revenue deficit, they were given revenue deficit grants. Now, 16th Finance Commission came, and 16th Finance Commission told that we are removing the revenue deficit grants. Now, again, there is high amount of disadvantage. Can you see the amount of what do you call distance between all the states, right? This is actually dividing the country rather than bringing the country together, right? And then you have delimitation commission. Now, the delimitation commission will happen in 2029 or 2026. Somewhere the delimitation commission will happen, right, at some point. And after that delimitation commission, all the states which have high amount of population will get more political representation. Now, imagine there is high amount of political representation. What will happen next? Hmm? States with high population will get more amount of devolution again, because those states are contributing more to the demography. They have more representation, they have more power. Who will have more say? Is it the states with low population or is it states with high population? Obviously, it is the state with high population that will get more say. Again, delimitation commission again is a disadvantage for the states that are actually very efficient, right? Now, the main argument, as I was saying, that this finance commission's way of dealing things and ensuring that everything is happening is very haphazard, and this haphazard way of dealing things or devolution of finances can actually hurt India's economy. Now, what can finance commission do? What are the what are the solutions that we can have through the finance commission? Firstly, is that you can actually use the data driven method, right? Data driven method. Secondly, you can use rewarding performance, right? Obviously, rewarding performance is very better. Without any incentive, nothing will happen. And then lastly, rely less on non-physical criteria, right? These are the three methods. First is that devolution. First is nothing but using data driven method, right? What is data driven method? Meaning, let's say that there is few states which have some data, and using that data you can actually create a criteria, and based on that criteria you can devolution you can give the funds, right? First one is that. Second one is the reward performance. As I was saying, the amount of what you call money that is given to the equity states, meaning that states which have high amount of low amount of income or low area or high population, is they are more prioritized. So 70% is going to them. Instead of going to them, you need to give it to countries, I mean states that are very efficient, right? That is nothing but incentivizing. Only when states are incentivized, they will be uh, eager, very eager to give more performance. Until unless there is no performance or there is no incentive, why would states do anything, right? Let's say you have worked so much, right? You have worked so much, you have worked so hard, and instead of giving something, some reward and incentive to you, we are giving an incentive or reward to someone who has not worked hard, right? Who has nothing much to do to the contribution of economy, right? What does it do? Will it encourage you? Obviously it will not encourage you, it will only discourage you. It should not happen, because India is actually now growing very fast. India is trying to become a global power. It is a superpower now. It is from going from a superpower to global power. As it wants to become, sorry, global power to superpower, right? As it wants to move from global power to superpower, it also has to be economically strong. Only when it is economically strong, it can do these kind of things. So second is rewarding performance. Third is relying less on non-physical criteria. What is the non-physical criteria? As I was saying, income distance is there, sorry, population is there, then forest is there, then area is there, right? Demographic dividend is there. All of these are what? Non-physical criteria only. Should not depend more on non-physical criteria. We should depend more on physical criteria, because that is where all of the investment is going. That is where, at the end of the day, money is important, obviously. Right? No matter what you do, where you go, money is important. Right? Be it for an individual or be it for a nation, money is important, right? So we have to look more on the physical side than on the side that is actually including non-physical areas. So that is what is present in this editorial, right? It's showing how there is a high amount of imbalance between transfers given by the Fiscal Finance Commission, right? And how that is creating a divide between India, and what are the solutions that are required for changing all of these and making a better India, right? Then you have India needs to prepare. We'll look at this, right? From black to gray. India needs to prepare for a future with an aging population. What is it talking about? It's talking about aging population. Now, what is an aging population? Let's say our country is there. Our country has high amount of population. Now we are currently at 29.2. A demographic dividend is 29.2. Means for a certain period of time, the age or the mean age would be 29.2, so that our working population is very high. Okay. Now we have to use this properly. If you do not use this properly, it will go to waste, and we have to again start from the scratch. Okay. So now it is 29.2, and our total fertility rate is 1.9, right? Total fertility rate is 1.9, and the replacement rate is what? 2.1. Meaning that if the birth of children is less than 2.1, right? If the birth of children per year is less than 2.1, then what will happen? The amount of population in that country will start to gradually reduce, right? 2.1 is the replacement rate, meaning that for every generation, if there is 2.1, then all the population will be same, or this population will be sustained. If it is below the, if the total fertility rate is below 1.9, what would happen? It would ensure that the population over the time would reduce and cause instability in a country. So what is total fertility rate? Total fertility rate is nothing but the average, right? It is the average number of children a woman is expected to have in her lifetime, right? It is the average number of women, I mean, average number of children a woman is expected to have in her lifetime. That is nothing but total fertility rate. Now, what is replacement rate? Replacement rate is nothing but if every generation produces fewer than 2.1 children, 2.1 children per woman, then the population will eventually grow and then start shrinking. That is what I was saying, right? It starts shrinking, right? It will start shrinking, and what will happen gradually? The amount of aging population will rise. What will happen if amount of aging population will rise? High amount of revenue expenditure, because pensions and then you got schemes are there, right? Taking population of the elderly. So the amount of working population will reduce, the economy will reduce, the GDP will reduce, the people contributing the exports and imports are going to reduce, and the dependence on government or people will increase. As the dependence on people and government will increase, what will happen? There's high amount of fiscal burden, uh, all of these will happen, right? So that is what it is talking about. What do you call, from black to gray, right? Now demographic dividend, as I was talking about, it is nothing but more amount of working population. As I told you just now, that the working population or the demographic dividend in India is what, 29.2, right? And but still this is a warning sign. Now why is this a warning sign? The reason it is a warning sign is because this demographic dividend is a very short phase. It's a temporary phase. As it is a temporary phase, what we need to do, we need to capture more of it. We need to maximize out of it, right? As long as we maximize out of it, what will happen? It will be better. If India does not do it, if India does not create jobs, if India does not improve skills, right? If India does not increase productivity, then what will happen? More amount of unemployment will be more, burden will be more, right? Fiscal burden on the center will be more, right? All of these things will happen if India is not utilizing the demographic dividend that is present here, right? 29.2 is the demographic dividend. And we have a transition stage. Obviously, we know that whenever a population is happening or population is present, there is a transitionary phase, right? And let us look at the transitionary phase. Firstly, there is stage one, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. Now these 4 stages are there. In stage 1, there is high amount of birth rate and high amount of death rate, right? And when the stage 2 comes, the birth rate remains high, whereas the death rate becomes low because of increased healthcare, right? Increased healthcare, death rate becomes low. And in the third stage, the death rate is also the birth rate is also reducing. Birth rate is reducing, death rate is reducing. And in the fourth stage, what will happen? The aging population will increase and birth population will be very low. Now India is in stage 3. India is going to stage 4. Are we prepared for stage 4? Are we in a position to handle the aging population? Have we ever been in a situation where we have tackled aging population? No. Since the beginning of India, we only had high amount of birth rate, right? We were in stage 1 when we began, right? After we began, we were in stage 1. Then we came to stage 2 in 2014 or 2015. In that timeline, we came to stage 2. Now we are in stage 3. We're going towards stage 4. We're not prepared for stage 4 at all because we do not have many schemes for elderly, right? We do not know how to tackle the elder population. We need to take what do you call, incentive or information from all the countries that are actually looking after their elderly population, meaning like Italy, Japan, Russia. All of these countries, what are they doing? They are what? They are focusing more on the elderly population. Only when you focus on the elderly population, we can tackle all of this, right? So yeah, it is talking about elderly population where you have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4, right? And now why is the fertility falling? Now the reason fertility is falling is because of the urbanization, right? Urbanization is happening, better education is there, women empowerment is there. As all of these things are there, the amount of fertility is decreasing. And also there are few families like Dink and Sink. What is Dink? Dink is nothing but dual income, no kids. Sink is nothing but single income, no kids. So people are encouraging these kind of things more. As they are encouraging these kind of things more, the amount of fertility is reducing rapidly, right? Amount of urbanization increasing, and the cost inflation is increasing, right? For a person to have a child and maintain a child for nearly 40 to 50 years is uh, really very hard, right? The amount of inflation is increasing, the amount of cost for education, the amount of cost for healthcare, everything is increasing. So people, what will people think? They'll think that instead of what do you call, uh, giving birth to a child, would we would rather spend all of the income on ourselves. That is why these kind of families are coming, Dink and Sink. Why? Because they think that instead of investing on a children, we can invest and enjoy our life as a whole, right? So that is one of the reasons why our fertility rate is falling, right? Urbanization is there, better education, women empowerment, access to contraception, and small family preferences like Dink Sink, right? And that is the problem. As I was also telling, right? As I was also telling that previously in this article, we discussed that states with high amount of what do you call, population are getting more amount of political support. Now, if the total fertility rate is low, like for the states of Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, all these states, they have very low amount of what do you call, TFR. As the TFR is very low, the amount of population is also very less. Now, who is getting more? Northern states. Northern states are getting more amount of devolution. That is the main challenge, right? Now, main challenge is nothing but aging population, the shrinking working force, regional inequality, and job creation urgency. Right. Now, what should India do? Huh? There are many countries like France. All of these countries have tackled all of this. Now, what should India do? India should focus on universal healthcare. See, if we are trying to increase the population rate, right? If we are trying to increase the population, we have to reduce the physical burden on the people. Until and unless we are reducing the physical burden on people, people will not aim on getting more children. Let's say you are a family, right? You are a family, X and Y are family, right? The cost of education is increasing, the cost of healthcare is increasing, the cost of fuel is increasing, the cost of products is increasing, right? The salary is nearly stagnant, right? Would you as a person bring a child onto this earth if all of this were there? No, obviously that is very logical. People will not bring the child into life just because all of these are there, right? Because it is a burden on them and a burden on child also, right? It is unfair for the child for coming into what you call an area where there is high amount of healthcare cost, high amount of education cost, high amount of everything. There's high amount of burden. Obviously, there will be trauma only. So, firstly, what the state should do, the state should reduce the fiscal burden on healthcare or education, all of this. Only when the state does all of this, it will be beneficial for the population to increase the fertility rate. Otherwise, they will not be incentivized at all. Some poor families might be incentivized by some cash that is given to them, right? Until unless that cash is nearly 1 crore or 2 crore, people will not accept, right? That is the other thing. That is the reality, right? No matter what, if you do not improve the healthcare, if you do not reduce the regional disparities, and if you do not improve the education, nothing will happen, right? No matter how much is there, what is there, the fertility rate will remain as it is, right? If you actually see, here we have the baby bait, right? This is another article that I was actually going to discuss about. It's not much, it is actually linked more to the this particular article only. Okay, it is saying that incentive or baby bait, right? Recently Andhra Pradesh government said that if you guys have more amount of children, we'll give you more incentive, right? It's saying that if you have 3 children, for every third child we'll give you 30,000, for every fourth child we'll give you 40,000, and for every month, right, we'll give you 1,000, that too for 5 years, and education for 18 years. These are the things that Andhra government is giving to the people. Now, a person who is actually aware of the finances or the economy wouldn't accept this. Right? 30,000, 40,000 per child, what is it going to do? It will not even cover anything. Right? 30,000, 40,000, that is also one-time payment only. It's not like 2 times or 3 times or 4 times. It is a one-time payment. Right? And obviously, the lifestyle cost is there. The kid will grow and kid will ask for an iPhone. What will happen if the kid will ask for an iPhone? There are many families that are actually taking loans and buying costly gifts for their kids. Right? Only 30,000 and 40,000 incentive or 1,000 per month incentive is not going to do things, and it is not going to actually increase the fertility rate. It is actually a baby bait. That is what it is. Right? There needs to be real methods or real what do you call changes that need to be brought in for fertility rate to increase. Only when that happens, these kind of things will work. Otherwise, it will not work. Right? So yeah, that is all about today's current affairs. Right? Thank you guys for uh, joining the class. Right? Hope you guys have learned a lot. Right? Keep this kind of ideology. Right? Think broadly. Try to connect things. If you actually look at all the articles that I've discussed, everything is interlinked, and that is how you need to learn the newspaper or read the newspaper. Only when you interlink everything, that is when you will understand properly and holistically gain knowledge. Right? Thank you guys.